If we think loudly, if we think out of the box, right? Why they are not visible? Because we don't have a culture to count them. They keep on moving from one place to another. We don't have a vulnerability index, which I'm working on. I'm making a vulnerability index. I'm proposing that in future, that how we can estimate that different communities are, how much they are vulnerable for different aspect of life. So government is working on it. If we talk about if we talk about governmental acting, it means we are not considering the nomads in the projection. So the whole process of planning comes up in question mark. So there is a need to reevaluate that. If I talk about and so this is the country. I'll just move fast because Luthra sir is instructing me after many years to be fast. Why is this not? Okay, this is not playing. I think there's some issue in the net.
Yes, yes.
It does. It happened. So Australia has already worked for it, and if we talk about next category, America has worked on it. Then New Zealand has already worked on it. Aboriginals, we all know about that. Mexico has, Ecuador has worked on it. But where are we? I'll show you where are we. Africa has worked on it very well. Africa has really worked for nomads. They are still working on it, but they get funding from UNO also. We are still, struggling to even think about them. We don't think. So Philippines has also, a smaller, oceanic country like Philippines has also worked for it. Scandinavian countries have worked for them. They are different, Finland, Sweden, Norway, Russia, all they are working for nomads. But what about us? We are still in consideration of, even think about them. Since 2013, nothing has done. And this is a glimpse of Carvelias. Is it audible? Where is the speaker for that? Speaker is not working.
नहीं स्पीकर नहीं चल रहा.
This is to be played. इसका लैपटॉप का है? So this particular, it is a glimpse. Yeah, now. So I can show it like this.
गाँव में मांग के लाते 2 दिन यहाँ रहेंगे, 4 दिन बाहर रहेंगे, 10 दिन बाहर रहेंगे, तो वैसे हम रहते रहते वो पीना छोड़ के हम बसने लग गए, बैठने लग गए, तो भी सरकार हमारे को नहीं बसने देती है, नहीं रहने देती है. थोड़ा बहुत बनाते हैं किसी यहाँ का, मुकड़ी का है, मकान का है, इसको भी सरकार फोड़ने को चालू हो जाती है, इसको फोड़ने को चालू हो जाती है.
So सरकार फोड़ने को चालू हो जाती है, वो सरकार. Sir, who is Sarkar? Thank you very much. This was from my side, and it's just an initiation to change something in planning.
Thank you, Harmeet, for that very emotionally and driven presentation. And it was a presentation from which we could see that on ground work. You've been on the ground and really participated in their understanding their lifestyle and the issues that they face. And really they are one of the invisible, which I would call invisible population group, which we sort of neglect in urban planning. We talk at a very in that sense at a very superfluous level. And people के लिए हम plan करना, as you correctly identified and said, and that is true, that we are in urban planning or in planning we are mainly planning for people. But only thing is, unlike architecture where the client is known and very well identified, in case of urban planning our client is not identified per se, that it is this group only or that group. We are doing a sort of overall whitewash type of plan, you can say, like not knowing which color to put on which wall or on which in which area in terms of people, like what group. So this is a very well taken, I think, because you've done that, and thank you so much for that. And I think that maybe Qatar's social vulnerability index might there are so many, there are some 19 parameters she has identified that could be work very well for you, because I think सब जगह vulnerable वो tick mark ही होगा और आपका एक index बन सकता है, from what I can understand, and mainly it's income and infrastructure, housing, ये सब में आपको वो vulnerability लेगी. And I think you might add another dimension to it about the malnutrition part of it, because that I think Qatar has not taken it. Thank you so much for that. One of the presenters is unable to come today, so may I invite architect Arbab Ahmad, Anukruti Trivedi, Sonam Gupta and Gopal Johari to give a presentation on the
Good afternoon, everybody. It's good to be back in Amritsar, and especially in GNDU, a place that has given so much to all of us, at least to me. And as Uttara said, I have very less amount of time. I won't be a hurdle between you people and lunch.
And you take your time.
So basically what...
मेरे ऊपर करते
That,
He's a
sir,
smart guy.
आपसे ही सीखा है.
I know.
Okay. So moving on, what my presentation would focus on is to ask questions. We have forgotten to ask questions to the society, to the government, to the system, and to a lot of people. And the day we start doing that, we would be in a better position in terms of planning better cities and safer roads for that sake. So my presentation deals with that, and at the end of the day I would also let you know that how this research or this work has been able to draw a path to save more lives on the road. So as the topic suggests, crash case studies on fatal accident cases in Uttar Pradesh. So this is one of the recent very fatal accident that happened on one of the expressways, and let me remind you, Uttar Pradesh is becoming a land of expressways. In totality, at this present point of time, we have 5 operational expressways, when 8 more to come, which is in some or the other state, would be finalized or finished within a year or two's time. But are we keeping the type of safety that is required on those expressways for the people who are commuting on them? So in this was the case that was taken. Basically, we were working with the police department at that point of time. So ADGP Traffic gave us this assignment that there happened an accident on 25th of July 2022 at I guess 4:30 in the morning, in which nearly 9 people died and 17 to 19 people were seriously injured, and they were sleeping at that point of time, and they never knew the death was chasing them in such a manner. What happened? This is a brief information about that case. So this was the police station which falls under Loni Katra in Barabanki, one of the districts very near to the capital city of Lucknow.
थोड़ा side पे पीछे होते हैं.
This is one of the... Then the detail was there were 2 buses, both coming from Bihar going towards Delhi, were in contact when this accident happened. It happened on a food plaza which was designed and implemented and done by the Expressway Authority of Uttar Pradesh. Time of arrival, time of accident that I already told you, it was 4:30 in the morning. 9 fatalities. Type of road, road from Bihar going to Delhi. So this has already been discussed, and this is what happened. Just look at the picture up over there. So what happened with this accident was a bus was already standing on the carriageway of the expressway when the second bus from behind came and hit it from back, and these many people died, and 18 people were totally and seriously injured, out of which a lot of people lost their limbs at that point of time. So who is to be blamed for this accident? A lot of people, a lot of commoners of our society would say that bus driver was at fault. But by the end of this presentation, we would be in a situation to ask the right questions to the right people. Just look at this. So this is again the findings from the final report which was submitted in the court. So when an accident happened, their FIR is being lodged, and after the investigation the FR is lodged, which is the final report which is presented to the court. And in that, the accused were the 2 bus drivers and the manager who was of a T point or snack point on the side of that expressway. So the people who as the FIR was concerned, and after a month's time the manager of that dhaba or the stop point was given away a clean chit, and for various and obvious reasons, but those 2 drivers were at fault at that point of time. So I would just try to play this, will it? Yes. So this is the condition. The crane was called, the bus was towed away, it was standing on the main carriageway, and this is the slip lane on which the dhaba is right now. This is again another video. It will tell us the condition of the 2 buses. So this was the bus which was standing, and that is the second bus there. The army was called, the police was called, multiple number of ambulances were there, and they were taken to a facility somewhat around 25 kilometers from there. Just imagine, we talk about golden hour, even then we were not able to save life. Now, after getting into the depth analysis of this accident, we found out these 6 questions that needs to be asked on every fatal accident that happens on that road, on any of the road, maybe an urban area or maybe at any expressways or fast moving lanes. So first, what was the actual cause of the accident? Secondly, how and what evidences after the accident were collected? How was the accident analysis done? Has any other accident occurred at that point or spot in the past? Could this accident be averted or prevented by the use of 3 E's, as we call it now, 5 E's also? And 6, what was the emergency response system available at that point of time? So we will discuss one by one, and by the end of this presentation we'll find out the actual cause of the accident and what questions are we supposed to ask to the people so that we get a better and safer infrastructure in upcoming times. Number 1, actual cause of accident. As I told you, the FIR which was lost, so this is the copy of the FIR which says एक गाड़ी बेन एक्सप्रेसवे पे खड़ी थी और दूसरी ने पीछे से आके बेध्यानी में टक्कर मार दी, जिसकी वजह से 9 लोगों की मौत हो गई और 18 लोग जख्मी हुए. This was the summary of this FIR. A lot of FIRs in UP, not only in UP but in Punjab also, because I worked quite handsomely in this state as well. 2 वर्ड आपको बहुत आम मिलेंगे, एक बेध्यानी से और दूसरा ओवर स्पीडिंग. बस ये 2 रीजंस की वजह से हमारे देश में 70 से 80% एक्सीडेंट्स हो रहे हैं और हम इस बात को सच मान बैठे. Next, so now this is the diagram that we draw, and this is one of the mandate by the Motor Vehicle Act under section 150 that every accident should have a proper diagram by which it should be made available that what kind of an accident has happened and what was the actual cause. So I'll just move further and I'll just try to speak a bit loud. So these are the 2 buses which you see over here which are standing. This is that facility which was planned by UPEDA. This is this slip road which comes over. These are the photographs that I found from various newspaper Twitter accounts when I inquired about the same from the police stations or from the traffic directorate in Uttar Pradesh Police Traffic Directorate, they had no photograph of such a big. We are doing a crash analysis, or we are trying to bring out the reasons of any accident. We need to get them documented right away where they happen. So this is the kind of activity that is required to be done when any accident happen, and an expert is to be called at what kind of ruptures that vehicle have faced, but there were none. Then the evidence kit that needs to be there, which were they taken care of? Let's do some scientific analysis of major accidents that are happening. So this was one of our first case. So these are the skid marks that you still see after 8 months of that accident. Just see this and look at the date. The accident happened on 25th of July 2022. This is a Google imagery of June 2022, in which this highway was opened for public in the month of February that year itself. Do you think this was in a condition to open with no chevron marking or proper marking, road marking on the road? I guess no. That is why the road safety audits are required at any and every stage of our projects, which we are lacking. What we are doing, we are just filling up the fillers. कि हाँ जब रोड बन गई है तो हम एक ऑडिट करा लेते हैं एज पर IRC 188, वो रिपोर्ट में लग जाएगा कि हमने कराई थी. बट नो, इवन बिफोर ओपनिंग एन NOC has to be given to the authority that okay, this road is good to travel or safe to travel. And just see the next. The accident happened just after a year road. Secondly, the narrow lane width of that within that area. And then this is one of the most important evidence that was collected. As far as concerned, MORT is concerned, as per its 278th clause, it says any facilities given on the side of an expressway or a high moving area, the slip lane should not. If there would have been at least 5.5 meter of width, proper parking facilities for the peoples or the commuters who are coming, I guess this accident could have been averted. So this is again, now just see, on a July night, which is normally a rainy season. I don't know whether the rain happened that day or not, because we inquired but we never got the data for that night at that place. But if that was July, there was no reflectivity on those kind of things, where it should have been an OHA marker or maybe a reflective tape, so that just 2 more minutes. Now just look at this. This is the kind of mitigation measures that were used. The merging sign was way ahead. This is the amount of parking that is available for there. There are a lot of buses and cars and everything stops over there. This is again an accident happened very nearby, and they have recently just traced it back over here. This is the height of the metal crash barrier, which should be 810 mm, and when we managed to measure it, it was 690 mm. Then was it a black spot? I guess no, it was not a black spot at that point of time, because the accident just happened to open 4 months back. This is just kind of black spot definition. But this is the kind of paint, thermoplastic paint that have been used. So it should be reflective so that it guides you on the road. But if this is the quality, how can we manage to do things? Then of course, what type of the 3 E's, how can we manage to safeguard people by doing these things? This is the amount of accidents that happened because of overspeeding. This is the type of posters that needs to be there to aware people, and this is the type of drives that needs to be there, that highway पर ढाबे के सामने वाहन मिले तो होगा सीज. So this was the effort that we did, and we went on to bring all the ढाबा वालास on the police station and ask them कि आप कैमरा लगा दो और उसका एक्सेस हमको दे दो. Else what we will do, we will change inside, and then there would be a problem for you. Apart from that, the reflectivity issues, and then of course good Samaritan laws and other. So these are the 3 E's. If this could have been taken care way back in time, this could have been averted. So these were the findings of the bus which we have discussed in detail and depth. Now
इसको चलने दो.
Tata chief, the same kind of, Cyrus Mistry, he also, his, I think it was Mercedes, it hit on a similar kind of, divider, and so the thing is that, we are in planning, we are regional scale, and so many highways, how is the mobility happening, and how safe are the roads, and you have really brought out this kind of micro level study, and generally the crash studies are taken up by the car manufacturers with, when they are testing the airbag and the kind of safety of the vehicles, but you have sort of done a post-mortem of the whole incident and brought out some very insightful learnings which are at a micro level, and maybe that sort of gives us an idea that okay, planning, though with planning we are at a certain scale and we don't want to get anywhere at a below a 1:50 scale, but sometimes that is required also by having proper designing proper bus bays on expressways, and all these markings with the paint. Yeah, it is missing even in urban areas, and thank you very much. I mean, it was really part of, you can say, the new urban agenda, because these studies are hardly you'll find. I mean, this is the first time I'm witnessing in a conference, in a seminar, this kind of detailed study. Thank you very much. It was very insightful. Thank you all the speakers today. The topics in this session have been really very, out of the box, you can say, whether it was related to transit-induced gentrification, or whether it was related to the literature study on the typology and the evolution of the public spaces, the social resilience of the nomads, and your presentation on the car crash, the bus crash investigation on an expressway. I thank all the speakers for the we had a very deep learning session with these out of the box topics. I would invite the audience if anybody wants to ask any questions related to these 4 topics. One of the speakers, Mohit, he could not be there today to present, and Dr. Ravi Inder Singh, but the other 4 presenters, 3 of them are here, and Miss Professor Resha Patil, she had to catch the train, so she has left, but the other top presenters are here. If you wish to ask any question, they would be happy to take it. Anybody from the audience? Yes, Luthra sir is he's suggesting that you could discuss 1:1 or whatever with the presenters over lunch. Thank you very much. Thank you, Luthra sir, for inviting me. We learned a lot together.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Pratima Singh. I think last session is always a drowsy kind of session, for the reason that everybody may be looking for moving away, and we are standing between the lunch and this session. So without taking much time, I thank you from the core of my heart for coming over here, and I thank you on behalf of the university, on behalf of the Guru Ramdas School of Planning and Punjab Regional Chapter of ITPI for organizing this particular session so well. Thank you very much. And now I request Dr. Gopal Johari and Mr. Inderjeet Singh to present a token of love to Dr. Pratima Singh. Dr. Johari and Mr. Inderjeet Singh. Mr. Inderjeet Singh is the chairman of Punjab Regional Chapter,
and Dr. Jahri and Dr. Seema, they are the coordinators of this. Thank you very much. And now I request Dr. Chima to conclude the seminar and propose vote of thanks. Dr. Chima, please.
Thank you, sir. So now it's the time for which each one of us was waiting eagerly. That we are here to conclude this 2-day national seminar. I would first of all go a little bit into the background of this seminar, first of all, but definitely very short. In 2023, 1st of January, Luthra sir took up as the head of the department, and right at that point of time he has given us so many multiple duties and responsibilities, and at the same point of time he has encouraged us much for these seminars and these sessions, and that is the basic reason why we are able to conduct these seminars so often. The basic idea of this seminar, for which I and Jory sir were being held responsible or deputed, I must say, the theme was for the Urban October and World Cities Day, which we are collectively celebrating at this point of time. For Urban October, it was financing the sustainable urban future for all, and for World Cities Day, it was better city, better life. And we have combined both these two things in a way in which the urban transformations, environmental issues, and mitigation strategies, so that a better living place we can have it. And very confidently I can say that we have achieved it up to a large extent. For a reason, because students, let it be research scholars, and definitely in the end I would say the 6 key speakers, the invited key speakers, they had encouraged, they had instigated, they had put so much valuable thoughts in our students, so that the budding planners, they are able to think in a direction in which our nation is actually needing. That is the need of the hour. And definitely, if we say the takeaway from this seminar, each one of us, if we think about what we have actually learned, let it be the students, let it be the scholars, each one of us has definitely achieved much, and we are concluding this seminar with the feel that we are going to once again go to our workplace, go to our class, and with a feel that we are energized, refreshed, and again with full of energy we are going to work upon, let it be your thesis, let it be our teaching, let it be our profession, so that our planning profession is going to become more better and more better. So we had 6 key invited speakers, including professors, each one of us to be present right in the sessions and find out in the coming sessions, coming seminars as well. And I would like to thank in the end for the sponsorship of PRC, for the logistic support of the entire Guru Nanak Dev University. We are enjoying right here from the not only from the Vice Chancellor, Dean Academic Fair, all the university authorities that we had during this time period. So I thank you all for this session, and now the entire thing is over for a lunch.